folk music is cool because it sort of allows you to trace this thread throughout history. You know, for example, the thread could be the triple harp, and you can sort of go, oh, this is where the triple harp started, and then you can follow it, but obviously so many things change as you follow that thread. And the same is true of like a particular folk song. You can kind of go, oh, I guess this is how this folk song was when it was written. Not that we know who wrote it or when it was written exactly, but you can kind of trace the way that it changes and the way that different people choose to sing it and choose to perform it. You know, in classical music you have the piece, and that piece is as it is, and maybe it's performed in slightly different ways, but really the piece exists as it is, and we know exactly who wrote it and when they wrote it and how they wrote it. And with folk music, that kind of core thing is missing because it goes back too far, and I think that's really cool. I play the Welsh triple harp. The triple harp is a type of harp that has 3 rows of strings. The 2 outside rows are tuned like the white notes of a piano, and the middle row are the black notes. So on normal types of harp you only have 1 row and it's only the white notes, and then you need like levers or foot pedals to play in different keys. But on mine I have all of the notes, and it was a Baroque invention. It was one of the kind of ways of trying to make the harp a chromatic instrument so that they could perform Baroque music on it. And so it was kind of developed and started life in like Italy in the Baroque era. It then somehow sort of travelled over to London and became really popular with Welsh harpists who played in the courts in London. And they then brought it back to Wales, and this was in like the 17th century, I think. You know, in the meantime they were sort of developing other ways of making harps chromatic that were a bit more sensible than having 90 strings. So the rest of the world was kind of doing that, and for some reason Wales decided it really liked the triple harp, and it became part of the folk tradition. My main way of finding new ideas is going to look in the Welsh National Library's archive. They have an amazing like digitised archive now, so it's all available online, so you can be really lazy and just find stuff on the internet rather than having to go in and go through the archives in person. My last 2 harp albums have been really based on stuff that I found in that archive, kind of a mixture of like musical things, so like sheet music that was written out in the 1800s, little bits of melody that are fun to work with, and then the other one, which has been maybe the bigger source of inspiration recently, which is the ballads database. And ballads are like the old songs that were written by like amateur kind of lyric writers in the 17th and 18th centuries and 19th centuries, and they'd just be written about like something that happened in the town that week, or some thought that the person was having about God, or about a comet that goes past, or about time. But yeah, I just really enjoy them because they kind of feel quite different to the sort of really popular common body of Welsh folk song. You know, there's kind of the songs that you get in the books that you can buy in the shops, and then there's these songs which are quite different and have been sort of forgotten and ignored, and no one's sung them since they were written, maybe. We're going to play an arrangement of a Breton dance tune called Andro. Yeah, they have this amazing folk dance tradition in Brittany that I've kind of been lucky enough to dip in and out of over the years playing at festivals in Brittany. And I'm just obsessed with the feel of the music and the kind of repetitive trancey thing that they have. So this piece is my attempt to do that on a triple harp.